friends, to another one of our read alouds. My name is Miss Winakur, and today we're going to be going over and we're going to be reading an amazing book. And that book is called Carl and the Meaning of Life. This was written and illustrated by Deborah Freedman. And I'm Miss Winakur, and this is 21st Century Pasco. So today we're going to learn about what is a prediction. So this is a type of strategy that readers do to understand a book. And then we're going to pay attention to our main character, Carl, and how he changes through the book. So our main character's name is Carl, and he doesn't know where he belongs. And he's going to go on a journey in this book, and we're going to figure out where he belongs. And you're going to notice in the text that he thinks to himself a lot in the book, and then he'll start talking, and then the narrator will start explaining what's going on. So we'll make sure to take note of that as we're reading. And then the first thing to do when you are making a prediction is think about the schema. So our background information is also known as a schema. Our schema is all the information that's in our brain. It is made up of the places we've been, the books we've read, and the people in our lives, and much more. So I want you to remember that your background information, anything you know about the places you've been, the people that you know, or any books you've read, or anything you've watched on TV, or anything you've learned from your family, that is called your schema. That is going to be your information that's already in your head. And it's important that you use your schema when we're making predictions. We'll talk about what the word prediction means in a little bit. And then the next thing you need to do is synthesize. So as you're reading, you're going to gain information, you're going to gather it, you're going to think about what will change throughout the book. So we're going to be making predictions about Carl today. And then we're going to synthesize our information. So as we get closer to our destination, basically, as we're finishing this book, things are going to become clearer and clearer. So as you read more of the book, you will gain more information about what you're reading and how it makes sense. So we're going to be making predictions. That basically means, what do we think is going to happen to Carl? So let's read this book, and as we do that, we're going to make a prediction. Okay? So can you make a prediction about Carl? So I'm going to show you the cover in just a second, and you need to pause this video and make a prediction. Hi there! So today we're going to be reading, again, like I mentioned earlier, Carl and the Meaning of Life. So you see in a picture, you see an animal, you see a bunny, a little mouse, a wolf, and then in the cover, this is dirt, and then Carl is right there. So what do we think Carl is going to find out about his life? Go ahead and pause the video and make a prediction. We're going to talk about what we think is going to happen. So now that we've made a prediction, let's get started. So we're going to use our schema, remember our background knowledge, to figure out, what do you think Carl's going to learn about the meaning of life? So I know that worms live in dirt. Maybe he'll learn about how he is supposed to survive. We'll find out. Carl was not a bird. Carl was not a bear or a beaver. Carl was an earthworm. Oh, I love when authors do this. It gets me so excited. He lives underground, moving, always moving, burrowing, tunneling, digesting dead leaves, feasting and casting, turning hard dirt into fluffy soil day after day. Did you know that earthworms do that? I didn't. So I wonder if, and I'm making a prediction, I wonder if Carl is gonna figure out why he does that. Oh, why, asked a field mice gathering seeds. Why do you do that? Why? Carl did not know why, but now he needed to figure it out. So Carl stopped making fluffy soil. I'll be right back, he told the field mouse. So I'm going to use my brain my background information and try to figure out where do you think he's going to go to find out why he does that. He spotted a rabbit. Maybe she knew. Why do I do what I do? He asked her. Oh goodness, she said, I do not know. I do what I do for my babies, but Carl did not have any babies. A fox appeared. Carl turned to Fox. Why do I do what I do? Asked Carl. Who do I do it for? For whom? Replied the fox. Alas, my meal awaits. I am here for the hunt. But Carl did not want to hunt. Why are you talking to a fox? Cried a squirrel. Carl was startled because the field mice is wanting and waiting to know what I'm here for. The squirrel declared, I'm here to plant plants. That trees are where I sleep. But Carl could not sleep, not in a high tree, and not without an answer for Mouse. He pushed on. Do you guys know what pushed on means? That means pushed on in this book, the way it's used is goes. He moves on. What? And on and on. Hours turned into days, not until the soil was no longer fluffy. The ground around Carl turned barren and dry, while he continued to search for who, why, and what. Sigh, he said. But the birds had flown off to find grasses and fluff, and the bear trundled away to look for berries. Soon there was nobody left to talk to. What about me? Called Carl. So why do you think Carl is acting like this? Make a prediction. We're going to use our background knowledge. We've already read that he's trying to get an answer for why he does what he does for Mouse, and he's trying to find out why. The clouds were silent, so was the air. I will never find out, he sniffed. Then Carl heard his sniffle echo, followed by a squeak. I can't find any grubs, a voice called. It's the saddest ground beetle he'd ever seen. Carl peeked under a stone. No grubs. And then he poked at the dirt. It was hard like a rock. Where was his fluffy soil? So what has happened so far? The ground was fluffy at the beginning when Mouse asked what he did. And now it's hard as a rock. So let's find out. Suddenly Carl knew what he had to do. I'll be back, he promised. For hours into days, weeks into months, Carl munched and munched, digested, left casings, and tunneled the hard dirt back into the rich soil. You made my seeds grow, said the mouse. Clover blossomed once again, and the rabbit came back with her kits. That means kids, her baby bunnies. The squirrel returned to plant new trees. The fox was lured by the hunt, all of them able to do what they do. How? Well, why not? Asked Carl. So the author's note says, have you ever watched squirrels running around or beetles skittering by and wondered what are they doing or why do they do that? Just like Carl, every creature in this book has an important job. The mouse, the rabbit, squirrel, fox, and ground beetle all needed each other, and our world needs them. Everything is connecting, including you. How can you help the earth? So how did Carl change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? We can use our background knowledge, which is our schema, and synthesize the information. So we know that Carl was sad because he didn't know what he was supposed to do. And then once he figured it out, he was able to help all of the other animals so that they're able to do what they do. So the next time you're reading, try to make a prediction about what you think is going to happen.